today's session is designed to help you understand how you can position yourself with this new development, right? So this is going to be a very practical and insightful session. So we encourage everyone to stay engaged, take notes, pay close attention throughout the webinar, and please use the chat box. There will also be a dedicated question and answer session at the end. So if you have any question during the session, please drop them in the chat box as we go along, and we will definitely attend to them during the Q&A session. So, and before we get into the training proper, I will just quickly introduce Techill Academy. Techill Academy, our goal is to make tech skills practical, accessible, easy to learn, and valuable. I'm a bit distracted because I'm admitting people, so please pardon me. So valuable for real world growth. That's what we do at Techill Academy. So, and we are glad that you are learning with us today. Thank you, everybody. Once again, I welcome you all, and let's get started. So we will go right into the training proper, and I will be introducing our speaker. So I will be introducing our speaker. Please pardon me while I bring up his profile. Can you all see my screen now? Okay.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll just go right into his profile. So today, Mr. Wale Akonla will be our instructor for today's class. Mr. Wale Akonla is a founder and a full stack developer. He has built many solutions. He's an entrepreneur with a track record of building impactful digital products and platforms that solve real world problems. He's a founder of multiple ventures, including Eleto.online, Schoolwave.ng, and many more. He's passionate about leveraging technology and education to unlock opportunities for young people and drive sustainable growth. And today on the AI webinar, we are going to have Mr. Wale share from his wealth of experience and knowledge with us. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me our instructor for today's webinar. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar. I'm happy to have everyone here. Okay, I can see the thumbs up. Thank you very much, everybody. So I will like to go straight to the point and give us context on what we are doing here, what we will be doing, and what we will not be doing. Now, if I started this session by saying that you have arrived at the webinar that will turn you to a professional and a proficient AI, let me even use one, juggernaut or professional, that would be the greatest lie of the century, right? So let me share my screen. That's not the goal, and that's not okay. I'm supposed to also turn on my camera, right? Okay, that's not the goal. That's not the that's not what we are here to do. So let me share my screen so that I can walk through my slides. You can see my screen, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Can I get feedback? Okay, yeah, I can see your feedback. So, okay, good.
Yes,
So the theme is start earning with AI, but this is a practical income-focused workflow for modern ecosystem. Now, as much as that sounds techy, let me set our let me set the direction straight. Our expectation, what we will do is we will give you absolute clarity with AI. In the this world we are in, we all understand is tending towards AI and all of that. So the goal, one of the things you will leave this call with is you will be clear on what AI is, where it's going, where you stand, and how you should approach it. That will be there. We will provide income focused roadmap. Almost we will be able to guide you, not necessarily. So there's no one cap fit all. The income roadmap for me is going to be different from the income roadmap for the other person because of what we are discussing. So we are going to guide you on how to arrive at your own custom income roadmap, right? And we are going to shift you from a ChatGPT, Claude AI consumer into somebody who leverage on existing technology to also be a producer of your own products. So that's the direction. That's our expectation. What we will not be doing is we'll not be turning into an overnight guru. We are not here to sell a get rich quick scheme, and we are not here to overwhelm you with coding theory. No, that's not the goal of this training. So moving on, I haven't set the expectation correctly. Now, the first thing I'll be talking about is there is a mindset shift that needs to happen, right? But before I go on, I think I should even check the let me check the chat of this call. Please type in the chat what industry are you playing currently, and what are your hopes? Why are you trying to get into AI, or what are you trying to do with AI? I would like to see one or two. I'd like to see your response. Actually, let's make it interactive, right? So please let's go to the chat bot. What industry are you currently, and what are you hoping to achieve with AI? Waiting for your feedback okay, somebody's in the banking industry. Mr. Babatunde, what are you hoping to? Are you planning to diversify, or you want to focus on your current industry? Let's make this, yeah, okay. I have a medical student here, fashion design. You're exploring your options. Great. Let's keep the response coming in. Let's keep it coming in. Please head to the chat and give us your option. I'll take another one minute or two on this. Helps me to okay, we have another medical student here. Great. So I take it that you just want to be abreast with what is happening in the world. Okay. Sorry. While I don't know what happened on my own device. So while we wait for that, let me just continue. So I was talking about I was trying to give you a perspective that when discovery of electricity, at first it started as a discovery, scientific discovery, and that's this beautiful discovery, and that can bring light, right, and all of that. But if you then check the trend after that, every human development had to layer on that technology, right? Every human improvement layered on that technology. If you were not doing it with electricity, most likely you are not doing anything worthwhile, right? If you then fast forward, move to the computer age, right? It started as a technology, right? However, gradually, the advent of personal computer took us to a point whereby if you are not doing it on the computer, most likely you are not doing something, right? Now, if you fast forward to the advent of internet, which is a bit more recent. It started as a shiny new object. Oh, this is the new technology, blah, 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 right? Then it got to a point that if you are not doing it online, right? If you check most of the businesses and the way we live our life, that in the 80s, almost everything got moved to the internet. I think almost everything is on the computer and is on the internet right now. If you talk about buying, talking about teaching and all of that is happening on the internet now, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, that has moved the whole of our human experience had to be layered on those key technologies when they got discovered, right? Now, my prediction, and it's not just mine, this is the prediction that everybody is saying, that the next phase of human technology and human development will be layered on the AI and data science technology, right? Meaning that whatever field you are in, if you are not putting AI into perspective, if you're not putting AI into perspective, you are probably doing the wrong thing. This is not, so the mindset shift that needs to happen. Okay, so I think I can switch back to my system now. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, can hear you.
Okay, great. So the mindset shift that needs to happen is this: AI is no longer a shiny toy. It's not the new thing. That ChatGPT is very interesting to chat with it. That's not AI. That's not it. You need to, that is the bedrock of our modern civilization. And you need to see it that way. Not seeing it that way is a big crime. Meaning that what you are planning, if you are planning something for the next 5 years, it cannot just be, that plan cannot be outside the technology, as it were. So imagine a school owner planning how education will happen in the next 5 years in their organization, and they are not factoring in where we will be in terms of technology. Let me give you an insight. In the technology space where I operate in, what happened November last year, between November last year and March this year, right, is giving us the vibes of as though November last year is 5 years ago. What was impossible as at November last year, in terms of technology, in terms of what we could do, is so different as at March this year. Meaning that the rate at which improvements are being made, a lot of models were released in March, a lot of technology were released, and the things I could do, I could not do. So the things I need 2-3 people to work with me on as at November last year, I was just churning products upon products since March because of the things that were released. So that is the technology space. For those in fashion industry, how are these things changing the capacity in your own space? For those in the building industry, how is it changing what is obtainable? Because if you are not thinking that way, somebody else who is thinking that way will discover a new tool and will create the Facebook for your whole industry. What do I mean by Facebook? Now, the world of social media happened because somebody created Facebook. We had other social media. I don't want to go into that story, but I'm saying that Facebook took that crown before every other thing started happening. And the major money that needs to be made in the industry started from that point. Now, if you are not looking at your industry and you are not following the trends with regards to AI and your own industry, right, one of two things will happen. You will be left behind. What you are doing currently will become obsolete, and it will be hard for you to catch up, right? So it's a good step in the right direction for you to be on this call. However, the mindset shift is not that you are trying to abandon your current field of operation. No, you are not throwing away your experience. You are not, no, whatever is going to happen in the AI space is going to layer on what you are already doing. Now, what happened to offline businesses in the 90s is going to happen to manual workflows today. If what you are doing currently is what can be automated, in short, the thinking process, the decision making, is it this way or that way, all of those things will be handed over to LLMs. I think I was reading somebody's status during the week, and the person was like, you either learn a type of trade or a type of whatever you are doing should be something AI cannot replace, or you learn how to use AI so that you will be the one replacing other people. You don't need to be an AI specialist to win. No, you need to layer your existing skill and factor out how AI would come into the mix. At this point, anybody denying AI is just denying reality. Can you let me get feedback? Let me see your thumbs up if you understand what I'm saying with this mindset shift. Because if you do not get anything from this call, right? This, as much as I said, this is a practical session. The practicality in this discussion is starting from this point. It's not we are not here to teach you how to create AI videos, how to create AI. Yes, we have the session for that, and we are going to get to that, right? However, the most important thing you can take away from this meeting today is the mindset shift I am talking about. You need to put AI to perspective. Your experience before now matters a lot. Now, the goal is what was being delivered in 3 months before, you should be able to deliver it in 3 days, 3 weeks. Something that will take 3 days before, how can you deliver it in 3 hours? How can you get things done cheaper? How can you get better quality? We will get to that. Let me move to my next slide. So, I've identified 2 major pathways for earning. And this is now, like I mentioned in the introduction, I am not going to come here and give you one size fits all for everybody. No, there are different. You are going to arrive at your own path based on these 2 things I'm going to talk about. Based on what AI has made possible in your own industry, you are going to what you're already doing. So let's pick a scenario. So if I'm operating in a space, I'm going to use AI and the 80-20 rule to do one of 2 things. What we already do, how can I deliver it faster? What we already do, how can I do it better using AI? What we currently do, how can I deliver it in a more rich experience? So let me give an instance. You do copywriting for people, right? Maybe you help them write their stories and all of that. If you look at that experience, that means you should be able to, if you in a month you can attend to say 5 people because you had to do it yourself and all of that. What the AI space is saying now is that there are a lot of AI tools available to you that you can dive deep into, and then you can reduce your turnaround time. 1, deliver a richer experience, meaning that instead of just writing, you can go for that, you can do designs, you can package the final thing. Before, maybe you need to write the book and then give it to somebody to do the book cover design, but you're already a creative. What you lacked before was probably the skill to do the actual design, but your creativity in itself can then be expressed layered with AI, because you are already the one doing the major work. You can then go further by doing the designs using AI tool. You can go further, packaging it for printing, packaging it for online. You can even turn the book into an app for the person, and you will get the full spectrum, because especially if you operate in a space whereby when people want to do something, it is you to come to first. So let's stay with this idea of somebody who can write and who is very creative. Please let me see your thumbs up if you are with me on this. I'm going to, because we are not doing one cap fits all, right? I'm going to use this example to highlight, and then you can use that thought pattern to come up with your own personal strategy. Now, so especially if you are in an ecosystem whereby somebody will meet with you first before they go and meet with other people. So let's pick this simple process. Typically, somebody writes a book. They need somebody to edit it. They need somebody to make it, turn it into a final, check the grammar, check all of those things, right? Now, that person brings that to you normally before, and you would have edited it, turn it into a book, right? And then that would be probably a graphic artist. The graphic artist will do the layout, the book layout, the cover design, and all of that. And then it goes to printing. Now, if you find yourself in that position right now, somebody hands that over to you. You have the opportunity of taking the full spectrum, meaning that you will deliver faster, you deliver a richer experience, right? Faster meaning that what you would have sat down to do, you layer it with AI tools. One. Number two, you can go the extra mile. For instance, because you understand what has been written, you've done all of that, you can suggest cover designs. Okay, great. So you've done the design, right? Now, you can go the extra mile. The book layout itself that will be printed by the printer, you now have AI tools that can deliver that to you. That's three. More than that, you can deliver a richer experience, something that was thought to be impossible before now, right? You can create an app for that book and deliver it. So I just use that example. Somebody who is doing video editing before now, and what that will do is that if you want the skill of being able to use AI to deliver a richer experience, even though those AI tools are available to all of us, people will prefer to give it to you so that you will do it. A case in point, at some point in this call, I'm going to bring one of our team members to talk about prompt engineering. I started out as a graphic artist. I do design and all of that. However, as of today, when we need to do designs now, somebody on our team is the person doing the designs because of their proficiency in prompt engineering. Even me, I just decide to leave it for that person. So I have access to the same tool, I have access to the same prompts, but because this person have developed their own proficiency in that area, I would rather have the person do it for me. So you want to ask the question that, but these people have access to those tools. No, you will spend the time, right, being proficient in that tool so that you can deliver the full spectrum. So still working with the case study we were talking about, right? You've delivered the proofreaded, the final text content. You've delivered the printable version. You've done the cover, right? And you've delivered a mobile app. That in itself gives you are one-man publishing agency, and you are doing that in record time. Let me know if you get this perspective, right? I'm going to use one more scenario before I go to the second pathway. So the second, thank you very much for the thumbs up. So the second pathway is this. The other way to go is automation, right? That's another way. Something we do normally, something we do all the time, right? How do we automate it such that you free up bottlenecks, You free up human, everywhere human clogs the process, you can free it up. That's another way AI comes in. Repetitive tasks that you do over and over again, there is room for you to automate it. So there are two pathways for earning with AI right now. Number one, you can do something faster. So analyze your own space currently. What are the current problems, or what are things we do already that if you do your research, AI can probably do it faster? That's one. Number two, how can you use AI to deliver value in a better format, in a richer format? Sometimes it can be cheaper. So let me give you an instance. Before now, if I'm to deliver a web project or something, it will probably take me like maybe one week to come up with the initial design, to get the client to approve before we start the real project. Now, there's a project I'm doing currently, case in point. I sent the proposal and the client said, oh, go ahead, gave me their content. And in a matter of 2 hours, I responded to the client with about 4 design options. The client chose option 2, and in another 1 or 2 hours, they have a live app to at least test, to give me their initial feedback. Now, in that case, I delivered faster, I delivered a rich, and trust me, I didn't charge cheaper. In short, I charged more than I usually would charge. And the reason is they needed it within a short period of time, but they still wanted quality. Now, before I leave this slide, I want to talk about the 80-20 rule with this context. AI will do the heavy lifting, but your 20% input is very important. If you go and check ChatGPT, check Gemini, they will tell you AI can make mistakes. They are not joking. It is true. You will do more work when you work with AI. All these videos you see online and you say, oh, I quickly cook up the app in 10 minutes. I usually laugh when I see that post. The truth is, the first output, you will get it in 10 minutes, you will get it in 15 minutes. But because what you are working with is not smart, AI is not smart. I'm going to get to that shortly. It is not smart, right? So there will be a lot of lack of depth. And if you deliver that product that way, it will be obvious. So your own 20% input will bring the depth, will bring the quality.
I'm trying to copy that, copy the prompt for us so that we can
into the mix. So that's another way of earning. Why people will choose, they will put prompts in AI tools and they will see what is being returned. They will prefer to pay you to get a better experience. So you need to drill down into a particular area and then own the AI skills in that space. So the second part, which I already talked about, you need to be able to package and automate. That's another way. So for instance, businesses have issues with invoices and all of those things. How can you package a product that automates that process of invoicing, payment, and all of those things for them? So one of the things I was saying, I was telling somebody yesterday, is that another way to earn with AI is that you can check what are the problems people around you are facing, or problems you are facing, or you are facing right now. Solve that problem, then package it for other people. And automation is one major way you can do that. If people are getting bored doing something over and over again, you can just package a simple automation tool that solves that problem. My next slide. So this is for business owners, right? This slide is for business owner. And for if you currently run a business, right? One of the ways you can straight up make money with AI is you cut costs, you reduce time, you do more, you are able to achieve more, you're able to. So for instance, it typically it takes you 3 weeks to execute a project in your space, right? What you want to be looking at is what are the tools that cut that down so that you can do more. What are the bottlenecks you have currently and how can technology solve it, right? So I just listed a few things here. So for instance, for customer success and all of that, attending to customer, there is the WhatsApp advantage. You can automate response to customers, answering questions and all of that. You can scale your marketing. You can pre-program your marketing. You can slash overhead costs with automation and all of that. So if you notice, I am not picking each of this specific case, and I'm not going in depth, right? Reason is that there is need for context specific. Some of these things, if for instance, if you say, oh, I'm in the fashion industry, these are the problems I'm facing and all of those things, we need to have context and solve those problems with you, right? So we will be telling you out how we are going to go about that shortly, and what are the things we have in stock for you, right? So it's not possible to do that on a general, in a one-day webinar, right? So we will be going into that shortly. But for businesses, right, when we get into tools, I would explain a bit further. But for businesses, the way to look at it is this: there are some things you are currently doing that takes your time and probably is not the core of your business. Top of my head, invoicing. Since last year, if I need to send invoice, I already have a specific template with my bot, my chat bot. I just input the customer and the specific case, and I get invoice in seconds, right? And I'm able to send it. So there are specific bottlenecks that you can begin to automate, that you can begin to, and you will cut costs by not, probably before now, you need somebody to build that for you, right? So even aside the general things we are all aware of, right? That is where that's why I said that this is not a one cap fits all. In your own specific processes, in your own specific process, you have to sit down and figure out where you cut time, where you cut costs, and without reducing quality. In short, sometimes when you add AI to the process, it's like 10x the quality of what you are bringing out. Sometimes it gives a richer experience, right? So as a business owner, that's how to see it. You need to imagine that you have invisible workforce. There are tools, we call some things harnessing tools. So in our full course that we'll be introducing to you, we'll be teaching you about harnessing tool, whereby you can deploy a full workforce on your laptop. For instance, I've been struggling with writing a book for like several years, and earlier this year I just deployed an harnessing tool I created a company on my laptop, and the focus of that company is publishing books, right? And within a matter of days, I got my book published by using that harnessing tool and all of that. So we would discuss that. Those are things that are obtainable, and that you attending this webinar is the first step to understanding that, yes, but you need to then go forward. What are you going to do after now? You need to list out what is most important to you and get the AI tools that are relevant in that perspective and build your proficiency. Moving on. So let me talk about tools. Understanding the tools is a very serious point, because if you are using the wrong tool for the wrong thing, then you might not get results. Now, I'm sure everybody on this call already know ChatGPT, we already know Claude, we know Gemini. Now, these are these are chats bots that they are good for conversation. Now, if your focus is not writing, right, then you need more than ChatGPT and Claude. If you are doing other things, probably image generation, video generation, and all of those things. However, you need to know that you need to have either ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini and use it for strategy development. So if, for instance, in my own space, if I want to build an app or something, I don't use ChatGPT or Gemini. My preference is Gemini personally, though. I don't use Gemini to write the actual code. But you see, my initial thought process that gets me to arrive at my concept, that gets me to decide on how I'm going to solve that problem, I do a back and forth with Gemini. And one of the things I do is sometimes knowing what is obtainable when you're trying to solve a problem is important. So you see all of those. So for instance, I was trying to create a software that will be able to take a live CCTV footage and detect what is happening inside. So because video and all of those things is not my strength, I need to understand what is obtainable. And so before I even lift a finger in writing code or in doing any form of deployment, I had a long chat session with Gemini and began to understand, oh, what format do security cameras, what format do they use, and all of those things. So even in your own space, and that's why I call them the brain, right? You use tools like that. And even within that context, ChatGPT has its strengths, Gemini has its strength, Claude has its strength, Perplexity AI has its strength. You need to also understand their strengths. So for instance, in my own house now, I praise Gemini a lot. However, my wife will tell you that, oh, Gemini is crap. And the simple truth is that within the context of what I am using Gemini for, it has strengths there. Within the context for what she is using ChatGPT for, ChatGPT has strengths there. So you don't use one tool and rest. You might need to either see what the industry is saying for your own space and then know the best tool. Sometimes if you are doing research, Perplexity is better, right? Claude, if you are doing some maybe day-to-day task and you need to probably create a slide and all of those things, Claude is kind of taking the crown there, right? However, when you join all of these tools, probably you need to pay a ham and a leg for them, right? If you join our own boot camp, we have cost-effective tools that we have battle tested, right? That you will be able to use, and you will not be spending all the $20 or the $100 that these guys are asking for, right? So talking about all of that, if you are trying to get design, videos, and all of that, we have Canva AI. A lot of us, we already use Canva for normal designs, but now Canva has AI capabilities that makes designing easier. You want to explore that. There's Midjourney for design. And if you are already paying for Google subscription, check out Google's Google has VEO for creating videos. They have some for creating image and all of those things. So check out Google's video and image creation platform also, if you're already paying for Google. If you are not, another thing for images, ChatGPT recently, I think in the past maybe 1 month or so, ChatGPT is very good with creating an image. I'm going to be allowing somebody to take us shortly, and we will be doing practical session on prompt engineering and how you can immediately up your games in creating all of these things. So I'm just prepping the room for that. Somebody will be coming up shortly to take all of that. Now, for voice, if you are doing anything around voice, maybe creating voiceover and all of those things, 11 Labs, right? If you are creating for videos, it's Agent, right? All of these tools, Google have their own Google, I don't know, maybe I'm just pro Google, right? Google has their own tools that if you just check it out, some of those tools are even free, right? Now, if you need to automate anything, we have make.com, we have Zapier, we have Anything. Now, how to use all of these tools, we will be teaching you all of this in our own bootcamp, deep dive. So make, Zapier, they all do the same thing. Anything is where you can automate processes, bring something from Google Sheets, let it go to YouTube, let it go to Twitter. If you want to mix things together and get things to work as one solution, right? And you probably don't want to do anything coding in the back end, right? We have engine room for that. So this thing I'm just touching in 5-10 minutes will take weeks, and we'll do deep dive. We'll dive deep into it in our bootcamp, right? So I think I will make room for one of our team members right now to talk about prompt engineering. We'll do our first practical session on image generation and all of that. I would leave the floor open for her right now, and I'll be back shortly to take the next phase of practical session.
Thank you, Mr. Wale, for that beautiful session. Please, can we all give Mr. Wale a thumbs up in the comment section if you have enjoyed him so far? Thank you so much. So, well, I know a lot of you have met me earlier. I welcomed everybody, and I'm welcoming you again if you are just joining. And I will be the one taking you on prompt engineering. So before if you have any question, please use the chat box. Please use the chat box. If it's urgent, we have people that will attend to you. And like I said, there's still going to be a Q&A session. So you can drop your messages in the chat box. Please, if you have ChatGPT on your laptops, on your phones, please kindly open it, because we're going to be making use of ChatGPT. That's where we'll be doing all of our practicals today. And we have just 10 minutes. So let me know if you have ChatGPT in the comment section. Okay, thank you. So I'll share my slides now. And let's run. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, thank you. So I will introduce myself. I did not introduce myself initially. My name is Olufisayomi, and I'm going to be your prompt engineering lecturer today. So we're going to be talking about prompt engineering, and prompt engineering is simply how you talk to AI effectively, how you communicate to the AI, this popular AI that everybody is, a lot of people are crazy about it. AI has a language. AI has, something they understand. And what prompt engineering is about is how you communicate effectively with AI. So I'm going to run through this. So one thing you need to have at the back of your mind about AI is AI will, please pardon me, AI will throw out what you throw into it. I don't know if that's clear enough. It is whatever you put into AI, that's the feedback you will get out of AI. Like Mr. Wale has said earlier, AI does not make you smarter. If you are planning to use AI to get smarter, you are very, very wrong about that, because before you can even use AI, you must be a smart person. And you can quote me anywhere. If you are not smart, the result you are going to get from AI will be a very foolish, result. So you first have to be clear about your goals. You first have to be clear about what you want to get from AI before you can start communicating with AI. So the quality of your output depends on the quality of your instruction. So we have, if you are on your chat GPT, can somebody please type in "write about marketing" into it, and just let's know what your result is. You can put that in the comment section. Just say "write about marketing." Has anybody done that? Okay, so can you type your response, or can you type the AI's response into the chat box? I know it's going to be very long, but I just want to know if we are following. I can't see the. Okay, good. Somebody said marketing is the process of promoting, selling, and delivering. Now, what has this done for you? From my own end, okay, yeah, I think I have almost the same thing. Now, this is just telling you about marketing, right? But maybe in the real sense, what you want is that you want the bot to act as a digital marketer, right? You want the bot to do what a digital marketer would do. So instead of just writing, write about marketing, but in the real sense, what you want is that somebody act as a digital marketer and write a particular word. Maybe you want to use it for Instagram caption, you want to use it for a particular business, and you have a particular picture in your head, right? That is, you have to be specific with all of those details when you're communicating with AI, right? Instead, write about marketing will just give you like a vague response, and it's not going to do what you want. So now, I want you to if you can see my screen, look at what is on my screen and type it into your chat GPT. Act as a digital marketer, write a 150-word Instagram caption for a Lagos brand or Lagos fashion brand targeting Gen Z women, catchy plus emojis. So let's see what is going to give you. Act as a digital marketer. Can you all see? Do you all have your results? If you can just use the emojis. So I know you're following. But I can assure you, you are definitely going to get a different result, right? And this is for business people, especially social media business people. You want to write captions. Many times it is your caption that will keep the customer, or it is your caption that will even attract the customer. So when you give this kind of caption, or when you can communicate with the AI in this kind of manner, then you are going to get a good result. So you can agree with me that you cannot deal with AI if you are not smart. Do you agree with me? Let me see your thumbs up. Do you agree with me? If you are not a smart person, you cannot deal with AI. So we're going to run. What is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering, like I have said earlier, is the skill of giving AI a very clear and structured instruction. Emphasis on structure. Your instructions have to be well structured. If not, you will not get a good result. You can't just talk. I mean, I always tell people that even when you want to communicate to real people, you can't just be talking anyhow. You know, the way we say, this person is just talking anyhow. You cannot just be talking. You cannot come to AI and be scattered. You are definitely going to get a scattered result, right? So let's run. So I'm going to, if you don't take anything out of this webinar today, this is your formula. The same way you have formula in mathematics, the same way you have formula at, the workplace to get things done. Communicating with AI or prompt engineering also have formulas, and this is where the main work is. So these are the 5-part prompt formula. Number 1, we have the role, we have the task, we have the context, we have the format, and we have the constraint. And I'll quickly run through each of them. Now, the role is, what do you want the... Thank you. I'm seeing the thumbs up. So, number 1, is the role. Before you can communicate effectively with AI, you have to assign a role to the AI. Now, this in your head, you know what you want to achieve. For example, I want to design a flyer. The role you are going to give the AI or the ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you are using is what? Is the role of a graphic designer. So in most cases, you are going to be telling the AI that act as a graphic designer, or you are a graphic designer. So already the AI tool takes up that personality. And at that point, there's nothing you want to tell it to. It believes that it is, I mean, it's like a robot. So he believes that he is a graphic designer. Do you understand? If you say act as a teacher, so that is the number one rule. Immediately you are able to do that, the AI automatically understands what he or she, what it is doing. The next thing is the task. So act as a graphic designer and do so and so and so and so. Now, this task is very, very important because there are so many things a character can do, right? But you are now narrowing it down to a specific action. So I will run because I'm behind schedule. The next thing will be the context. Now, this context can be the data, you know, maybe you have information, maybe walk around this, do this, you know, because it's more like you are trying to narrow this instruction down to a particular thing. And that's how the AI understands what it's doing. I'll run to format. The format is the how. How do you want what you want? How do you want it to be? For example, if you are trying to generate an image, there's a way you want the image to look like. There's a way you want the text to look like. There's a way you want the caption to look like. So the format, the visual, the you know, the description of what you want is the format. Now, the constraints, the reason why you need to always put constraints when you're communicating with AI is that I always tell people AI does not, you know, there's this popular Yoruba adage that says, go lo boko come. I don't know, maybe you know that's popular. AI can be like that. If you give AI 1 yard, it will give you 1 million. It will start asking for more. So that's why you have to put constraints. That's why you have to put boundaries. For example, you want to write a caption. If you see that first example I gave, I said 150 words. That's an example of a boundary. That's an example of a constraint. So you have to be able to say, okay, you know, like a guide. So the AI does not misbehave, or sometimes it over delivers and sometimes it under delivers. So pardon me, I'm still admitting people. Thank you. So I hope you understand that. So now let's do this. Look at this formula. We want to implement the formula now in real life. So like all of the 5 components of formula that I have said earlier, I talked about the role, task, context, format, and constraints. So now we're going to assign each instruction to each of these components. So now, for example, you want the AI to act as a career coach. That is the role. And then you say, create a beginner-friendly CV summary. That is the task. You say, for a data analyst graduate in Nigeria. That is the context. So it knows that he's not creating a CV for a mechanic, right? Now, and then you say short summary paragraph. That is the format. Then the constraints, professional tone, under 80 words. That is the constraint. So I want to believe this is straightforward. Can I get your thumbs up? If this 5 formula thing is straightforward, let me know. Or you are still confused? Okay, thank you. So it's very, very easy. If you can work with this 5 formula when you are communicating with AI, and this 5 formula works for everything. It works for image creation and, you know, many more. Let me quickly run. So now Let us now take it to a professional setting. For example, you want to write an email. You can't just tell the AI to write an email. That's a very weak point. But this is a very good example. Act as a professional HR manager. Write a polite follow-up. You might want to, if you want to try this in your ChatGPT, please do. Act as a professional HR manager. Write a polite follow-up email after a job interview. Tone should be confident, but not desperate. So this is a very, clear, or let me say a very good and strong prompt for AI. So when you speak to your AI like this, it gives good results. Are we still in this class? Oh, somebody said it's not seeing my screen. Okay, thank you. So if you can see my screen, I currently have professional correspondence. Okay, so I'll just run. So I want us to open our ChatGPT. I deliberately want us to practice this or practicalize this. Sorry, guys. So I just dropped it I just dropped the prompt. But before I put this prompt, the first prompt I wrote, which is the weak prompt, is help me study. So I'm just going to put it in my ChatGPT, help me study. That's a very weak point. So let's look at, so can you see the response we're getting? Because AI, will always be AI, is still going to say, okay, of course, what aspect of marketing would you like me to study first? And this is because I had initially typed in, what about marketing? So if you give a weak prompt, you are going to he's going to keep asking you more questions, because the reason he's asking you more questions is he wants you to narrow it down. He wants you to be specific. So we're going to then use this second prompt, which is, you can put it in your own ChatGPT too. So, and let's look at the results we'll get. We already gave it a role, a task, act as a mathematics tutor, explain quadratic equations to a beginner preparing for WAEC, and use simple examples and step-by-step explanations. Now, that step-by-step explanation is the one that ties everything together, because, like I said, AI can be very confused at times or can over deliver, but that is the boundary, that is the constraint. Do you understand? So let's go. So this is what we have. Can you see? Can you see? We have diagram, we have formulas, we have examples. Look at how specific. So for a beginner that doesn't understand what quadratic equation is, if you go through all of this with the help of the diagram, definitions, formulas, method, examples, you are definitely going to understand it. So the role is the mathematics tutor. We are still using that same formula, the task, the context, and all of that. So let's run. So we're going to do another one, and I also want you to do it. So the first one is generate a woman, and I want you to pay attention here. Generate a woman. Remember, you did not tell it the kind or the type of woman you want. So it's going to give you anything. The first thing I said when I said it, I said your input determines your output. So if AI does not know what is in your mind, before you come to your ChatGPT or to your Gemini or any tool you use, you had something in your mind, you had a picture, and you cannot expect AI to read your mind. AI will paint exactly what you describe. I mean, this is just like raising children. When you are raising children, many times we assume that they know what is on our mind. And that's why it's important to communicate the exact instruction you want them to follow. AI is like that. So a weak image prompt. And now, sorry, we have moved to image creation. It's because I'm rushing. So generate a woman and let's see what we have. And then you see this image now, you say, no, I don't want a dark or a black woman. I want a woman wearing this. Because you did not give it those specific instructions. So AI is going to give you what you want. But let us use this prompt. Generate a cinematic portrait of a confident African woman in a modern Lagos rooftop setting at sunset, wearing, let me put this in the chat box. You might want to try this on your AI tool too. So we're going to wait for it to come up with that. So for AI image is still, I'll just continue. For visuals, for flyers, for things that are not just about text, this is also the formula. Remember the first 5 formula that we use for, prompting them to write things like write-ups or help us think. But for image creation, this is the formula. The formula is the subject, just like the text, the style, the environment, the lighting, and the mood, which you can see in this, our last prompt. So can you see the difference? Look at the first image, look at the second image. So I was very detailed. I was very specific up to the point where the woman will stand, up to the kind of weather, the clothes. So if you want to get image creation, there has to be a subject. Who are you trying to generate? There has to be a style. If you are into photography or you understand photography, you understand that there are styles to photography. Then the environment, where is it? Do you want the woman to sit on a chair? Do you want the woman to be in an office environment? Do you want the woman to be in an Owambe setting? You are going to be specific. Then there's also lighting. How do you want the lighting to be? Do you want it very bright? Do you want it as if studio lighting, Those details are important. And what's the mood? Luxurious. So we are very specific when we are trying to generate image from AI. So if you look at, okay, this is another professional prompt. I just, did as much prompts as possible. This prompt is very straightforward. You don't need to do this. But based on everything we have said, a young Nigerian tech entrepreneur working on a laptop in a futuristic office, cinema. So you have to understand all these things you are saying. When I just started communicating with AI, I would usually just say anything. And when it comes with the result, I will now look at the image and say, what is wrong with this image? Oh, okay. Then I'll go and edit. Thank God for ChatGPT, you can edit. I'll go and edit. Maybe, okay, the lighting is too much. The upper body is big. AI just wants you to give it a specific information. So this is another interactive. I deliberately did this for for business people, for adverts. Now, there's another thing I'll quickly chip in. When you have ChatGPT, for example, and maybe your account is registered on it, and maybe you've chatted with it over and over again, he already has an idea because he keeps memory, right? He already has an idea of what you do, your personality, and all of that. So he already understands. But even with all of that, if you say create a shoe advert, he's not going to do anything. You know why? Because you are still not specific. So whether the AI is familiar with you or not, your prompt is still the determinant factor of the kind of results you are going to get. So I think that's all. I don't think I want to go deep. I believe that you understand the idea of everything we're trying to say. So for you, and While I'm rounding up, I'm just quickly going to chip in this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. In our upcoming AI bootcamp, AI for work and business, whether you're an office person, whether you're a business person, whether you just want to use AI for yourself, there are so many things you will learn. There are so many things you will learn. You are going to learn prompt engineering in full, because these are just basics, right? Anybody can do this. But there is more to prompt engineering. There is a way you can direct, you can control your narrative out there with prompt engineering. So I hope that with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you that AI is the way to go. Thank you, everybody. I remain Olufisayo. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you, Olufisayomi. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up the training for us, and I'll take us from here. Now, one of the things I'll layer on what she had just said is that whatever you are doing, when you are dealing with a conversational AI, that's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, right? Your prompt engineering matters. Now, she gave you two formulas, one for when you are trying to get text and the other for when you are trying to get images. We will share that on the WhatsApp group again so that you can fine-tune it to your context. There are several modifications of those prompt formulas. For instance, if you are trying to generate video, there's a modification for it, right? However, what I need you to then understand is, if you are trying to build a product, maybe you are trying to build an app or something, there is no amount of prompt engineering you will do that would, in one prompt, deliver a standard app for you, which is the next place I'm taking you to, right? However, we can, if you check the time, our time is fast spent. We cannot fully capture that here. I'll show you one or two tools and I'll show you how I use them. However, at this point, this is where I would like to tell you what we really want to teach you. So what we want to teach you is ability to troubleshoot any problem with AI using conversational tools and research tools. So the same way she showed you formulas, right, with regards to prompt engineering, there is a way to engage conversational AI. So when I say conversational AI, I'm talking about ChatGPT, Gemini, and all of those things. There's a way to engage them, right, to arrive at credible answers, So we gave you that sample with prompts, but it is beyond prompts. It is beyond prompts. So for instance, if you are trying to build a tool, either a mobile app or a web app for certain scenarios, something that will be used for certain scenario, it's not just about the prompt in that context. There are tools you will use, there are contexts, there are ways to go about it. So for instance, somebody wants to build an app and you just want to give ChatGPT all of the prompts and it will spill out code for you, right? No, there is a way to go about it. There's something called a product requirement document that you need to come up with, and there's a way to guide your conversational AI to deliver that for you, right? There's a way to guide. So even if we stick with video generation and all of those things, there's a way to guide Gemini, there's a way to guide ChatGPT that you would deliver the script first. So she was talking about being very specific in your prompts. There's a way you can use your conversational AI to arrive at prompts. So even if you are not very clear about what you want, there's a way you can have conversation with AI, and based on that conversation, you will arrive at a specific thing you want, and that you will use that thing to generate the prompt that you will use eventually to generate your image or to generate your text, right? So at this point, I'm going to show you some of my tools that I use in developing, but that will be the last thing I will do, because it's obvious that our time cannot be enough. However, at this point, I want to show you some of things. But before we go ahead, right, we want to introduce our AI bootcamp, right? And I want to tell you what we will be doing in detail in that bootcamp. Number one, for those who want to build products, so you have an idea or you have a problem you are trying to solve and you believe you can use AI, probably you've even used Lovable, you've used ChatGPT to build something. However, you don't know how to convert it to something that will really work. In some cases, you might have even used Claude, right? Okay. So what we will be showing you, what we will be teaching you in our AI for Business Bootcamp is that we will be showing you tools, battle-tested tools. Now, for some of you that are on this call that you're already even paying for Claude and all of those things, you notice that by the time you pay $20 and you try to do one small thing, you've hit your limit. In our webinar, or sorry, in our bootcamp, we will not only be, we are not using Claude, we are using tools that you will spend less and you will get more quality. In the past 2 months, I have delivered several products. You can check them online. I have a product called itix.online, HITIX. It's a ticketing app, and I built it using my AI tools. So we will be showing you AI tools that you will use, not just showing. It's going to be a community of people that we will build together, right? So they are battle-tested tools that you will spend less and achieve more. Most of the popular AI tools, you know, you will have to pay $20, you have to pay $100 GPT, you have to pay all of those things to use them in a way that you would even achieve a tangible result. However, you will be spending less than probably 20,000 naira, less than, in some cases, maybe less than 12,000 naira per month, and you will achieve massive results. Massive results. So one of the things you will be doing in our bootcamp is we'll go from stage 0 to stage 100, and we will give you a workflow of building anything without writing one line of code. There is a way to think, there is a pattern to follow. We would show you that, and we will build real life things together. That's one. Number two, for those who are interested in generating images, generating work tools for their own scenarios, we are going to pick at least 10 real life scenarios, and you will also have opportunity for one-on-one consultation for your own scenario, where we will arrive at the appropriate AI tool that works for your scenario, right? So because some people, their own goal is, how do I use AI to fix my business or to cut costs, right? They don't necessarily want to build a tool. So we are going to work on that together. Then number 3 thing we will be doing is we are going to plug you into channels where, because one of the things that happen with the world of AI is that things change very fast. So we are going to plug you in the right channel. We are going to, because there's a lot of noise around, we're going to remove the noise and do the right channels you are supposed to do, so that you know as things are developing and so that you can be up to speed. Now, our bootcamp costs 200,000 for a 5-week program, and it's starting this June. However, for every single person, I think we have about 30-something people that attended this webinar. For every single person that joined this webinar, you are getting it for 100,000 naira if you register within the next 7 days. We are going to drop the link in the chat now, and we'll drop the link in the chat, and we'll drop it also in the WhatsApp group. Now, if you're registering within the next 7 days, however, we have room for 50 people. I think somebody said it on the chat the other time that there's free gifts, right? Now, 10 people on this call, we cannot accommodate more than 10 people. 10 people on this call that are ready to sign up today, you will be given the link and the promo code. 10 people on this call, first come, first serve, will get it at 50,000 naira. The promo code is already there, AI Power 10. Please, let's drop the link also. Okay, the link has been dropped. Now, obviously you see that we have more than 10 people on this call. The moment the last person signs up, this promo code will stop working. And I would go over what we will be learning. We could not touch so much on this webinar because it's practically impossible to do all that we want. The needed background I even need to give us, I did not touch it. I didn't do it in full because 2 hours is so little to do the things we intend to do. So we would do all of that in our boot camp. So it's actually a 5-week program, 5 weeks, and we are going to build real tools, explore real life scenarios. So we are opening the floor for questions. I think let me take questions so that whatever the remaining 30 minutes that we have, I'll use it to attend to real questions, and probably with that I can show stuff. Now, while I'm waiting for questions to come in the chat, I'm going to go over what we'll be learning at the AI for Work and Business Bootcamp. For instance, you're a business owner and you want to build automations around your WhatsApp, around your business. We're going to explore how to do that. If you intend to do that for people, probably you are looking to start that as a service for people, how to build automation, how to build WhatsApp bots and all of that. We will do that at the bootcamp. Number 2, if your goal is to build your own product and you don't know how to start, please, if you have questions, let's have it in the I'm just waiting for you to drop your questions in the chat. Please, if you have questions, drop it in the chat so that I can attend to it. Now, if your goal is to build products, right? Probably you want to build a mobile app, you want to build a software for something, right? If you join the bootcamp, we will show you how to, and we will build with you. So the goal of what we are trying to do is we're trying to create a community, right? You can also go and get jobs, right? And bring it, and we will build with you once you are part of our AI for Work and Business Bootcamp.